njani?
Sibonga impilo nje. Ngoba it's not something that we take for granted. Ingakho sila namhlanje ukuzo-re-emphasize that point ukuthi we don't take ukuphila for granted. If there is a place where we need to acknowledge and pay homage, we have to do that as an appreciation of impilo. So itopic yanamuhla ikhuluma about the origins, the yoga and meditation. Mesingaqala nje because the yoga term lase Asia, the Hindus, that is their term. But tina la yoga sithi umbilini. Why? Because yoga is to be able to create a harmonic relationship between the two energies on earth, the male and the female. Leon to manifest itself in different ways. So tina yoga sibiza ngokuthi okhokho bebiza ngokuthi smai tawi, meaning ukuthi you tying, the knot, ile, a representation yakhona kuba image of uheru no set in one body, meaning ukuthi we are fusing, we are trying to reconcile the two opposites. That is the meaning of yoga, bringing things together to harmonize so that that duality is resolved again. Umuntu abuyele to that unitary state, which is the first, the beginning. So in understanding ours, because nathi singama Africa, we had this spiritual program that we developed a long time ago. Tina singama Africa were the first people to actually come up with such programs. And then we exported these teachings all over the world. Remember Guti, the first people abatwa, Kokobeit, they gave birth to us. So yonke this spiritual knowledge sitola gubo. Nasekemut, if you go back to history, idlozi loqala elihlonishwayo uBes, and uBes umutwa was one of abatwa. So abatwa are our parents. So these are the people who first traveled throughout the whole globe and spreading this knowledge. Bafike India, bafika nase China. So these are the first people. That is why even karate itself, it doesn't originate in China. It was taken there by Africans who were practicing that, in the Kush land, Lapa, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Ungagabi ne Kemet. Kemet was given birth by the kings of Sudan and Ethiopia. The last one was fire, Ushabaka. Ushabaka brought back, that unity. And unity, le yoga, ngokwe sintu, the African way. Yoga, it means ukuthi umoya nenyama. These are two opposites that must be resolved. So that, ingaphakathi lakho, you mustn't identify yourself as physicality. Because once you identify yourself as physicality inama limitations are. Mesikhuluma ngene forever. We're talking about, the spiritual side of a person. So tina singumoya. And, ilanga likhiqiza umoya lo osiphilisayo. So when you are tying yourself back to the original state. La bayibiza ukuthi is that carbon or neutron soup. La izinto khona, there was no differentiation. Kula sibuyela khona when we meditate and we do yoga. We want to achieve that stillness again. And, we are always connected to that part of ourselves, because angithi kune conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind, it is that state. Because, njengoba ngasho last time, the subconscious mind doesn't question. It takes everything that it receives from the conscious mind. So yingakho kusemqoka ukuthi what you input on the subconscious mind is then manifested, is then given shape and pattern. So whether negative or positive. So going back, even where the sun comes from, because that state, esisibiza thina ngesizulu ukuthi ukhulukhulwane, that neutron soup, that la kuhlangane khona wonke lama elements before it differentiation. This is where we are all tied down to. But then what emerged from kukhulukhulwane umvelincane. Umvelincane is that point, a circle, ngesi Africa, a representation of ilanga is that a circle with a central dot in the middle. So that represents umvelincane, the neta. The neta ngesi came then creates or manifests itself into the netero. Lokhu thina sisibiza ukuthi amadlozi. Idlozi netongo, these are two different things. Idlozi is eternal, meaning ukuthi idlozi is part of that 9 stages of creation, which 9 then signifies a completion. So U9 is very important in that because there are 9 principles. After Ura Atum Ra was created itself out of that soup. We are still even inside that soup now. It's like we are in a aquarium. Because even the air that we breathe, it's water. So Sisaran, we are mans, we are a product of that water. So yingakho, in that state, that is the state of unity, where everything collapses into, like ilanga lethu. One day, lizo explode on that and collapse back into ukhulukhulwane. So ukhulukhulwane becomes then the umbrella. Yingakho sithi ukhulukhulwane because embody everything that is created on earth, stars, planets, individuals, and everything is wrapped ngale ngubo kakhulukhulwane. And the iyini chemically that state, carbon. Carbon yiyo surrounde yonke into in the universe. Because then the sun, atom, burns carbon to produce hydrogen. You understand? So chemically ihamba kanjalo that structure. It's carbon, it's hydrogen and oxygen. That is the structure of Earth. So masikhuluma ke ngale ilentuza meditation. Meditation nakhona ihamba in 3 stages. You can't meditate on something that you don't know. So you need to listen to the teachings. You need to understand the teachings. You listen. Then the second stage, you reflect upon what you've learned. Right? So that, because in meditation, it's an attempt to be one with a principle. I'll meditate in J. if you want to understand and experience Auset, you need to be one with Auset. But you can't reach that oneness without the understanding ukuthi who Auset is vis-a-vis your life. So that is, the history that I think it's very necessary. And ngesizulu, I don't know whether it was through laziness of some of the people who were trying to interpret zonke lezinto lezi, because sometimes njengombilini in Zulu sazi ukuthi umbilini, right? Umbilini, but they are not specific with regard to the energy centers. La kumbilini, on top of umbilini, lezi sithi amachakra. So ngesi Kemet, they were called the souls of Ra, or the arms of Ma'at, that balances the scales. They are talking about these energy centers that we have as abantu. So okokuqala, you need to understand creation, the African creation story. That is what you need to understand, because whatever then that manifests after that, it's based on that. The foundation is that those 9 principles, that are responsible for the maintenance of life. The life that was created by Atum Ra, which is the first principle. So in totality, there are 10. But if you exclude Ura, there are 9. Yingakho ke, 9 is a very, very magical number in the African, sense. Because it signifies imele completion. Hey, ingane, here for 9 months, isihleli esiswini. After 9 months, yaphuma, unless after extraordinary situations, umntwana adlulele ku-10. But normally it's 9. So it's very important ukuthi si understand. But njengoba ngisho, interpretation, abantu who were trying to then develop language yethu, sometimes babe, I don't know whether ukuvilapha, because some of the words bathathe a direct translation from either English, but then by translate ngapha, so azange kube ne depth. So when we talk about this serpent power, amaHindu ayibiza ukuthi kundalini, lehambelana nombilini. In as far as Hindu philosophy, kunama pipe la emqolo, mesikhuluma ngo asa and the jet pillar, sikhuluma ngomqolo wakho, ukuthi le energy, this energy, the serpent power, amaHindu ayibiza kundalini, ihamba la kumbilini. And the energy enamandla kabi, but manje kumuntu that is ignorant, it's coiled lapha phansi. Yiyo eyenza ukuthi abantu ba vibrate at a lower frequency. Because the more you develop your consciousness, is the more this energy rises until it reaches the top. So in the Hindu philosophy, there are 2 or 3 main channels in your spinal cord. The central one, it's called the Ida in the Hindu. Then, there's the Pingala and the Shushuma, which are the 2 lines that are protected at the central point. But in our African spirituality, we are talking about Asa, who is that central, pipe ehambisa this kundalini, which is called at the base of the spine, isibiza ukuthi umbilini. Okhokho bethu, that is science in itself, because okhokho bethu understood ukuthi there are two pipes that are at play at any given time in our lives. They are these two pipes which then ahambe ayohlangana la on your third eye. So ngesikhemu and nangesintu, lawo mapipe amabili uOset noNepthed, right? uOset represents the lunar energy, and uNepthed represents the solar energy. So that is why you'll find that ukuthi at any given time you can't, ama nostrils akho, they are not both open at the same time. Mongayicheck uzothola ukuthi emini, because it's the solar energy, kuvuleka one nostril more, but ebusuku kuvuleka the other one, which means ukuthi ilanga nenyanga controls your system. The energy that you draw from there, manifests itself. Thina sikho, sometimes you are not even conscious. But why my left nostrils are ivuleki as the other one? Kanti vele mele ivuleke half. Why? Because it mustn't draw either the solar energy or the lunar energy, so that there's a balance. So manje the Auset energy kulama pipe amabili in your spinal cord represents life, because that is the energy okumele ivuke wena uvuse through breathing exercises. Inyuke le energy, inyuke until it reaches the top. Then uNepthed iyehla, right? Iyehla le energy. So there's one going up, Auset, the other one is coming down. So kumeleke, through my breathing exercise, uzameke ukunyusa and activate, because most of the time, bathi okhokho thina, we are mostly trapped in the third dimension, meaning ukuthi from the first chakra to the third chakra kulasiphelela khona. That is why most of us reincarnate, because we are not able to develop the spiritual from the fourth till the seventh. We are always ignorant of umoya. That is why we keep reincarnating, ukuthi nizofunda, ukuthi you need to go up until you reach at least the seventh dimension, which is asa le phezulu. So the first chakra eruta yonke into, ehambelana even the fears and everything. Uyazi mawusaba ukuthi hey man, akunamali nakho ngiyobhatala ngani imoto. I-COVID ingaffectile ngempela, because there's no longer income. That fear is that energy ka gap. Yonke into yabana, even nelentuza jealous wena uhamba ukhuluma abantu kabi. You are drawing from that energy. You understand? So you need to then, and especially that chakra, if ivalekile, it is not active. Uhlala vele utuvuka nje ushaya uvala. Because you are not spiritually secured. Do you understand? So it keeps drawing you down, this energy kakep. So that is why kumeleke, through ama exercises, like the breathing exercises, we are going to try. Remember, Guti, we can't achieve everything, in one day. Ihamba ngama step lento le until it is then automatic lagu. So today, that is why kuthiwa kumele uqale ngokuthi umamele. Listen to the teachings, reflect upon the teachings, so that when you are then meditating, you are then, breaking that divide, that veil between the physical and the spiritual, so that all, it goes back to the initial state of being an androgen being, where the male and the female energies were still together, bounded together. So the second chakra, yile chakra le ka hetero. We hetero, that is the principle. Esazi kahle ukuthi wonke umuntu ujabuleli October, because it's that a season of divine union between the male and the female. Abantu bayathandana, abantu bayashada ngaleso sikhathi. It's that energy of breaking down that duality. So uhetero is associated vele with the sexual urges, zonke lezi zinto lezi. So uhetero nakhona, you need to develop that side of things, so that njengendoda okhokho bathi you need to tame the bull, so that you are not, yes, I know ukuthi it's a natural thing, but okhokho bathi zama abstain from that for a while, go back, but ungalokho, because you need that energy to assist you to carry that coil, because ipower yakho ilapho. Once we are able to raise umbilini as a figure, you then become the son of light or daughter of light, because you radiate that golden light laguwe. We are able to heal abantu. We are able to do time travel. We are able to do so many things. So umbilini, the spinal cord, that energy, that duality of energy with the central pipe, that is what carries you. It's like immortal, that carries you into the spiritual realm. Ngoba manje mawukwazi ke sizoyenza ama exercises, they might look silly, some of them, but they ayanceda ukuthi raise your vibrational frequency, and also raising the energy. And some of the exercises, when we are opening these chakras, you feel like mesenza a certain exercise, breather, then you take your focus to that particular, let's say une pain like dolweni, focus your mind on that dolo, until you feel the tingling, because that is when you are unlocking, you are opening that chakra, because lama chakras, these energy centers, are linked to certain organs in our system. They are not just energy point. And another a thing which is very important to mention, ukuthi thina siphila in 3 worlds, is the causal plane, the astral plane, and the physical. The causal plane yiyo le kamvelincane, ukuthi wena umvelincane, uyi extension kamvelincane. Mawufika kulapha ku causal plane, because that is the unity, that is where everything is united. Umvelincane ukuthi, meaning ukuthi all spirits and souls la emhlabeni are linked directly to the sun, and zisuka lapha kumvelincane. So you are never separated from umvelincane as long as uphila. So that then becomes the foundation yayo yonke into, the causal plane. Le abelungu bathi mambo jambo. Because once you understand the causal plane, you then understand yourself better. Ku causal plane, kula kuhleli khona all the 9 principles that are responsible for a manifestation here on earth. Yonke into that is created on earth is constituted by these 9 principles. And the yimimoya, these are elements that are abundant in the environment. Akukhulunywa ngeipogo, kukhulunywa scientifically ngama elements. Okhokho decided to name those elements in that way, because it was a period of symbolic thinking, meaning ukuthi a symbol links you directly to a certain principle. You are then able to easily connect with that principle. if you see a symbol, especially when you are initiated into those things, because nakhona initiation is very important. That first level of listening to the teachings, researching, reading, and you reflect upon what you have read, then you meditate upon that. Then it becomes easy. Ukuthi manje mawukhuluma ngoJehudi, who are you talking about? Mawukhuluma ngoHeteru, who are you talking about? Because we as siyazibiza Ms. Phahla these principles. But these are 9 principles which are in the causal plane. Then there's the astral plane. The astral plane, city, is the etheric plane. La kuhlala khona all these energy centers, the 7 chakras are in the etheric plane. But the etheric plane directly affects the physical plane. Why? Because it's cool. Sibala on the etheric. So if you want to heal the body, heal the astral plane. Then the astral plane, when it gets healed, it affects the physical. So kula kuhleli khona ke this energy center. Mesikhuluma ngombilini umuntu uhleli lapha. On that astral plane, the etheric plane. Mawuya lapha kuma spiritualist sebene camera that captures your etheric structure. Abanye bakutshela ukuthi may blue, unenkinga, may red, njani, uyabona. Well, basasinterpretela because we haven't developed that technology ourselves. Ukuthi thina okhokho, how did they read your aura? Ilento siyibiza aura. That is the etheric, the astral plane. So that astral plane, yoga, that links with your mind as well. Your mind, when we're talking about the mind, we are talking about something that is intangible. You see. Then the physical, says everything about the physical. But we're then not aware of the astral and the causal. The causal is there. That is the plane. When umvelinqangi decided to create, who created le mimoya qala. It's like induna zikamvelinqangi. Lo munye ubhekele nama-lungs, lo munye ubhekelele namathambo, lo munye ubhekelele nani. Yingakho uhlala 9 months gestation eswini sikamama. Ukuze all these principles are fully developed. When they are fully developed, then ingane is ready to come out. Then sizeke ku the third chakra. The third chakra, ile that we link with uheru, the will. Because umlilo, yingakho bathi once your mawuthile nani tummy, yeah, the abdominal, isisu, ungenamkhaba. Ma ungenamkhaba, there are less opportunities to go. So manomkhaba, definitely the possibility to gule is there. Why? Because this is the central place that controls everything. Ukugula kuqala la. Like isisu once aba wrong, umzimba wonke uba wrong. So it's that fire that burns everything la. That is the will. Mesikhuluma ngamaqhawe, sikhuluma ngabantu who have this chakra open. Because bano buqhawe sithi banesibindi wena khokho. That is the will, which is controlled by uheru. In this, safek, bara, ile abayibiza ukuthi the souls of Ura, or the arms of Ma'at, that balances the scale. Because if your chakras are not balanced, now you are messed up. or mhlambe ivalekile, that is what draws you. That is what creates, the lowering of your vibrational, frequency. So, mesikhuluma ke ngoherula, uyeke ocontroller, that chakra. Then we come to the heart chakra, which is the fourth. Remember what I said. Uguti okhokho bathi most people bashona still trapped in the third dimension. They are not able to rise up, and activate these other, and these other, dimensions, lazy that are linked to Asa. When the jet pillar, right? If your chakras are not balanced, it will, right? When you balance, your jet pillar, meaning jet pillar, your spine. But manje, ikombisa the four, from the fourth dimension to the seventh. Meaning they are not interested, on the first, second, and third. When you are developing your spirituality, it's when you start opening from the fourth until the seventh. Because the 1 to 3, they are controlled by physicality. Yes, gap. Kulau gap adlala khona naboset and everybody that lowers your vibrational frequency. So when they talk about raising the pillar of Asa, mawuloko ufunda bakhuluma ke ngayo le umbilini ukuthi you need to raise that energy which remains coiled, lapha at the base of the spine. So from the fourth, which is the heart, bakhuluma okhokho ukuthi you need to develop the intelligence of the heart. They are talking about art. Art, that is what brings us a balance. That is what balances everything. We are yizwa lento ngaphakathi kuwe. So when you develop the intelligence of the heart, you listen to your emotions. How did I feel after ngithukelwe umuntu loyo? Mina ngikhombise ukuthi no ngisiqwayi. But how did I feel inside? Because that feeling is there. When I was uvala, usinikeze this picture, kanti ngaphakathi uzubhlungu. Do you understand? So it's that, chakra that brings that balance all the time. And the maungeko balance futhi uyayizwa nawe. Uyayizwa yasho ukuthi nkonko hayi. Lento yenzayo ayikho right. So zonke lezi zinto lezi makhehla, especially for the fourth chakra, which is that of Ma'at, for you to be able to open fully, because as you open, Lama chakras, as the first chakra, F, you need to replace greed with something else which is positive. You need to replace ukleba with something else immediately for you to fully, because akusebenzi ukuthi uzoloko wenza lama meditation uvula le first chakra part immediately mawuqeda, you still go back to your original self. You can't then be able to, assist that energy to rise, because your actions go against that principle. So it's very important in Jengayo, the fourth chakra. It requires us to recite the 42 laws of Ma'at every evening and every morning, so that that chakra is always in check. Now you are always in check. Exeni, we are reciter. I will never. I won't. Ebusuku, I haven't. But manje mawufika kulenye iprinciple ukuthi uyenzile leyo nto uzoyenza njani? Akithi uzostaka vele ngoba uyazi uyenzile leyo nto leyo. So for us to fully open this one, we need to understand those 42 laws. Zikhona sizoziprinta sizishare like kuma group. So that masenza le meditation, remember ukuthi lesikhathi esikuso isikhathi that is important for meditation. Ngoba isikhathi sikabani? Sika Auset. The master magician. Manje is the master of iheka, the natural magic. So for us to be able to see repair in September, we fully have to. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi lokho kwenzayo akuhambelane nomoya wale principle. Makumele ushintshe ihate, you replace immediately ngothando, be loving to people. And yonke into mawuyenza ngothando, actually uthando umanqoba. Even for manifestation, mawufuna mawuvisualize yonke into invoke that love for that thing that you want, it then gives you a shorter time for that thing to manifest. So lena ke kuzomele se recite the Ma'at 42 laws for us to fully understand. Then we move over to the 5th chakra, which is the energy center kaJehudi, the communicator. How do you communicate when? Phela angithi ucontroller bathi yini the voice box. uJehudi controls the voice box. Meaning ukuthi wena with your intentions and you create a certain vibration ehlangana with your intentions that are there in your heart. Meaning ukuthi we are then communicating it to the universe. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi istrength sethu thina ukuphahla is to engage the universe. And ungayijahi universe, ube nesineke. Izothatha isikhathi sayo ukuphendula, but be patient enough. So you just deposit. So through uJehudi, I'm able to talk. Through uJehudi, I'm able to even talk without ngiphimisela. Have you ever had this experience ukuthi uvala umlomo kepha ukhulume but uyazizwa? You hear everything but you haven't uttered a word. Meaning ukuthi lo moya ongaphakathi kuwena, that is umvelincane self, doesn't need umlomo. So the silent prayer, it confirms the potency of the silent prayer as well. Because mawukhuluma lezinto lezi, it's audible within you. Hey, so that voice, that spark, skamvelincane, it really doesn't need umlomo. But njengoba ke thina sesahlubuka ke, mawuhlubukile ugcina sokubanzima ukuthi ubuyele ekhaya. Ngithi soyilahlele indlela, awusayazi ngoba sokukhulu utshani lapha, usabona ukuthi labo uhamba khona before kuzobanzima vele. So this is what we are involved in, in trying to reconnect. But njengoba sizwe makhehle, yonke into idinga le energy which is sitting at the bottom of the spine. Masikhuluma ngabantu who are able to command izinto zenzeke. Sikhuluma ngabantu who have managed to raise this energy. And nakhona you need to be guided, because kuthiwa if we raise her without proper guidance, ingakuhlanyisa. Because may vuka isukuma lento le iyophahlaka lapha. It might affect your pineal gland. Do you understand? So it's a gradual process. And incedi ivuleka kalula mawuyisupporta ngezenzo. Uthi mawufika ntambama umeditate ukuthi the whole day you have been living according to that principle ozama ukuyivula. Then it becomes easier, because it then creates a resonance, even your lifestyle, every day. Then asizeke ku the 6th chakra, le sithi pineal gland. Remember ukuthi uAuset controls the wisdom, right? So that is the wisdom chakra, lela pineal gland. Makutiwa the physical eyes, are useless when the spiritual eye is dead. Basuke bakhuluma ngalento ukuthi yilo kiso leli kuthiwa angeke uyobona umvelincane ungadlulanga kubani kuNomkhubulwane. uNomkhubulwane is that principle which controls the third eye, and that third eye ubona kanjani umvelincane ngewisdom, and that wisdom icontrolwa uNomkhubulwane. So that is the energy that controls. Then the seventh chakra, umvelincane, meaning ukuthi that is the connection yakho ke manje. Maso vibrator at that frequency, meaning ukuthi ile frequency le otima vibrator kuyo, it's like ivili mele spinner very fast. You can't even see if it's there or not. Do you understand? So that is what you need, because when you vibrate at that level, everything you need, it's done. Ufuna lokhu awunaba abantu basondela. Amakhosi aqala bebenjalo. Bebehlela umhlangano bangatshelanga umuntu. Ba communicate nje psychically. Wonke umuntu ayithola esigodlweni. Hawu ndoda ubizwe yini? Hayi ngibizwe le kubizile nawe. Hey, meaning ukuthi mase vibrate lapho, anything is possible. Actually, that is the wish of a spiritual aspirant, because lapho physicality, is resolved with spirit. We are hambelana, there's harmony all the time. Meaning ukuthi the left and the right brain, they're balanced. Jehuti is in between there, opening the door, closing the door. Your subconscious is being fed the right messaging so that it creates the right patterns. Izinto saze, they no longer happen arbitrary. Ad hoc nje izinto, they are structured. Every day when you're working towards, manifesting a certain pattern that you want to see manifest in physicality. It means it's a dedication. You need to dedicate yourself. Abanye abantu, this thing will liberate you, but you will be lazy to do it. You don't mind, just chilling namachita, nisishayile iphuzo. But that won't benefit you. Instead, it lowers your vibrational frequency. Lokhu that is supposed to liberate you. Kuba nzima. And usibuze ukuthi why? Ngoba lento le ayidinge umuntu. It's you and your own production plant, which is your mind. And we are not going to pay anything. Instead, we are going to benefit. Ngoba uzobona ma magic, we are going to experience magic. Life yako kuzoba ma magic. Ma once nje wakhuluma into, let's say ukhuluma something ukuthi ngifuna uqala lokho, then the universe conspires with you. I-line up wonke umuntu that is supposed to assist you to achieve that goal. That is how okhokho bethu lived. And that is how we manage ukuthi sithole this divine inspiration from the source, the Akashic records themselves, because that is in knowledge that is taught there. It's knowledge that has been there for years. So it has recorded everything that has happened right from the beginning. Yalo mhlaba. So what do you need? Okhokho bethu knew ukuthi all that I have to do is to connect to that source. That source will reveal everything I need. So if you are ignorant of that source, you are then vulnerable. You then end up being a robot. Uvuka ekuseni njengorobot. Uhamba uyespanini, ubuya uyalala, uhamba uyespanini, ubuya uyalala, ubuya ukhathele. There's no divine work that you are, engaging in. So le ifuna uyithathe njengomsebenzi, 9 to 6 or whatever. If possible, you do that. Then you become the master, the guru of Bab Credo Lab. Hey, we are able to manifest this into just that Bab Credo. bekesaba athe labelungu bazongibulala. Hey, bekesaba. There's so much that I want to do. There's so much that I want to teach my people. But labantu bangikhombile. But you dare. It's true. But manje ke thina we are another generation. Asiksabu kufa. Actually, we look forward to death because we will escape the torments of this physicality. So that is why, again, this fusion, yoga, we need to move away from worrying from that gap spirit that draws you. Makumele uhlale emkhukhwini man, but wazi ukuthi you are balanced. Hey, if umoya uthi hlale emkhukhwini hlala la. Usebenze on your spirituality, build your goal, uzophuma lapho in no time. Kunokuthi manje lokhu fostela ukuthi wenze izinto ngapha yabona, because we are creating that power ukuthi ugap akubambe even more. Can't you need to release? So that you know that energy has to, because that is the energy of magic. The energy ka Auset. You need to develop that. Then you will never suffer in your life. Everything that you need is there. But if una dedication ne consistency, ungayenzi for 2 days uthe ngikhathele. And wenza kanjalo replace ngento useless nje. You spend 6-8 hours ngento useless. That is not building you up. So makehlake, I hope ukuthi the lecture and the teaching, please reflect upon them, so that ma meditate, masikhuluma ngogap, understand the principle ka gap. Ukuthi mengivula le chakra, ngifuna ukukhululeka kulokhu nalokhu nalokhu, so that zisale da. When you must rise, you must ascend, you know, to meet up with your father or asa. Thokoza.
Thokoza Mkhulu. Yeah, I can see the teaching. I mean, the teaching is very beautiful and liberating, but our bodies, because it's first day, we can feel the cramps. And your meditation is about stillness. We have to get to that point of stillness and really move little that we do.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Mkhulu, for always bringing clarity. Let's energize ourselves. Let's do the stretches now, and we get into meditation. And then we ask Mkhulu questions after that, because I can feel our energy is dropping. Let's uplift it. So I'm going to do few stretches. Obviously, Mkhulu, let me just move away from you. Yes. Oh, okay.